How am I going to make fun of Cincinnati this week? I guess they'll just have to come to me.
That's what I think about Cincinnati.
Nice.
Very nice. It's not the fucking song anymore, RJ. Now it's all happy and shit.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, July the 28th, 2020, and this is the Fourth and Long Podcast. I'm your host, RJ, and joining me, as always, is Keith. Say hi, Keith.
Hi, Keith. Hey, RJ, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, actually.
It's actual Tuesday.
Actually Tuesday.
Late episode.
Yeah, so this will probably come out on Wednesday, because we'll see how fucking hard I push this tonight. Because it is already 6.
It is already 6. We've had some technical and scheduling difficulties. I was dead on Sunday when we normally record. You can't record a podcast when you're dead. Found that out.
Yeah, it doesn't work out too well.
Negative. And I worked on Monday, so here we are.
So here we go. Yeah. And then what happened today?
Oh, yeah, and today we had a scare because while I was getting everything set up around 3-ish or so, the fucking power went out.
Yeah.
So I was without power till pretty much right when you got home.
Yep.
Because it was looking like we're going to have to either record everything super late tonight or just do it tomorrow evening. So it would have been another full 24 hours late.
Even later.
So this podcast would have came out Tuesday, would have been on a Sunday at that rate, instead of Sunday being on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's confusing, I know, but it makes sense to me, and that's all that matters.
Hey, every Tuesday, it's me, guys. Welcome to the thing we do.
Yeah, talking to the thing. And
I'm Mr. Toast, and joining me always.
Mr. what?
Mr. Toast. I'm your
Mr. Toast.
I'm your toast, RJ.
I'm your toast. But there's news this week.
Yeah, we're here to talk about football.
Go ahead and I gotta right the ship. We're getting weird. There's actually news this week.
Actual.
Yeah, there's not going to be a slow spiral into
depravity.
Whatever the fuck was going on last week. I don't know. Just like staring at my computer screen blankly until we figured out what to talk about.
Listen, I don't think you should necessarily promise that either, though. Just like
No, I'm not saying this is going to be good content, but it's okay. So it's like that weird sandwich you get at the deli, but you're not entirely sure the quality of the meats at the deli.
I always go to Jimmy John's and I always get a number 6. So
yeah, you go to the place you don't know for once, and it's full of something that definitely.
But I don't. I find this story unrelatable.
Look, all right. I'm an adventurous eater. And I like to try the weird delis with the meat. Okay, so
Keith eats
it
ass.
Actually reminds
is what
me of
he's
something.
Saying.
Yeah. Eat ass?
Yeah, you said you were an adventurous eater.
No, I mean that's a mainstay in my diet by now. That's not really adventurous. I want to get up in there like
3 square meals.
Yeah, you got to get some 3 square meals of that back fat. But there's this pho place down the road.
Uh-huh.
And what are those Vietnamese sandwiches? They're made on.
I'm sorry, try that again.
Vietnamese sandwiches.
Nope. Close.
What?
Vietnamese?
Vietnamese.
Okay, that was better.
Okay.
Vietnamese.
Be at my knees sandwiches.
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name off the top of my head.
Yeah, but they got them because it's a pho joint. Banh mi.
Banh mi, that's the one.
Yeah. And
Vietnamese po' boy.
Yeah, and Jenny got me one that's supposed to have a pork belly in it.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, fuck yeah, I love pork belly because it's just better. It's thick, better bacon. Well, I open it up, and it's just this... It's fucking chopped meat, pretty much, pressed into a patty that looks vaguely of pork belly. That's the kind of content we're providing here. We're promising you premium meats, and we're giving you the scrap cut. It's a full sandwich, but it's kind of questionable the contents of the sandwich.
But there are definitely contents.
But there's definitely contents in that sandwich. That's the analogy that I'm trying to make right now.
Is it sawdust? How much? I mean, how much sawdust? You could eat some of it before it's bad for you.
Sure, filler still makes you full.
Yeah,
RJ. Filler makes you full.
I've played Frostpunk. I know how this works.
Yeah, that's our new tagline. The filler still makes you full. Yeah. But hopefully this week's not a bunch of filler because we actually got shit to talk about. You want to go first this week?
I mean, I've got basically my list here. I mean, we could just go down it and then whatever else you want to talk about, we can sprinkle in here and there.
Knock it out. Let's do it.
All right, let's start with basically one of the earliest things we discussed today, because we actually discussed it a couple days ago, which is David Njoku potentially dropping hints about wanting to be traded to the Chargers or being traded to the Chargers.
Yeah, that was it was subtle, but we have a Twitter. If you guys are interested, it's at _4th and wrong because somebody already took 4th and wrong like an asshole.
Yeah.
But even though we have the website and all that fun stuff, but anyway,
it's .com.
.com, baby. So Chief Njoku posted on Twitter. He said, "All charged up."
All charged up.
And then that was it. And of course, everybody and their mother is speculating on, commenting and retweeting, oh my god, he's going to the Chargers. Seems pretty obvious to me.
Did we check his endorsements? Did he get a Duracell or an Energizer deal and we're just fucking missing something?
Yeah, I definitely didn't do that. So I never said I was an investigative journalist. This is about gotcha journalism, remember?
No, it's not.
Why not? I was so good at it before.
Just keep going with your Ninjoku shit.
Yeah. So he posted, and so everybody started freaking out on Twitter. Oh shit, he's going to fucking blah, blah, blah. Going to the Chargers. He posted, after he said that he wanted to be traded, which we talked about before, he posted, a bunch of stuff on Twitter and various other things, the love he has for Cleveland, but it's a business. And I always get that, and I hate to see good players go. Because, I want to keep good players on the football team. Mm-hmm. But I also like to see those good players succeed in the league. I watch football as a whole. So, although not a huge fan of the move, it makes sense. We signed if he is actually going somewhere. We have Austin Hooper, who's a really good tight end. Njoku feels like he's going to be put on the back burner, relatively speaking. So he wants to go somewhere where they can use him. And the Chargers can use him.
But you were also telling me today.
But today, somebody tweeted, I hope David Njoku 80 reports today. And then he retweeted and said, I'm here, dog. So he's at camp. He showed up.
Yeah.
He's there to work. So if a trade doesn't work out, I mean, so far we haven't heard any news. It could still just be something like you said, he's hooking up with the Energizer Bunny or some shit. But he's at work right now. So until we hear anything more, I'll post something on Twitter and it'll go on our various social medias and the websites if it does happen. But I'm keeping an eye on that one because all charged up. That's so vague, but it's so specific at the same time.
I sell 100,000-mile car batteries now.
Yeah, me and Tesla.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. Njoku got a Tesla endorsement.
I would make the tweet all charged up if they gave me a Tesla.
Hell yeah. I will tweet whatever the fuck Elon Musk wants.
Not anything, because he's... Maybe don't promise anything.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Look, I love Elon Musk, but he's a nut.
Maybe not anything.
Yeah, we're gonna colonize Mars.
Oh, I mean that
Right.
I would tweet. I don't give a fuck about that.
Just some of the other stuff.
Some of the other stuff.
He's got questionable interests.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of leave it at that.
All right. Anything else on Njoku, or are we moving forward?
No, I'm keeping an eye on it. I got his Twitter locked and loaded. I actually favorited it.
Did you call him a bitch to try and get him on the podcast?
No, I should. Let me do that real quick. I'm not gonna do that real quick. I was trying to forget I ever did that. Don't let me do that anymore.
Not gonna let you forget about that. That one's gonna stick around for a while.
Did we talk about that on the podcast?
I don't remember if it made it in, but we talked about it now.
Okay. Yeah. So I was drinking, but RJ let me call out Baker Mayfield and call him a bitch on Twitter to try to get him on the podcast.
I thought it was a great idea.
Look, I woke up the next morning, didn't agree with you, so that tweet doesn't exist anymore. It's going to live in infamy in the audio recordings of these podcasts, but it's not on the Twitter. It was a funny joke, Baker, if you're listening. I love you. You're not a bitch.
I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
I thought it was funny, too, at the time, and then I woke up. So I woke up, and I was going through my notifications, and so I went to Twitter, because I get a bunch of fucking push notes from Twitter, and when it defaulted to the Fourth and Wrong account, I saw a post, and like my heart literally sunk. I was laying in bed just like, oh no. Oh no. So I was like, delete.
Very funny.
Don't let me drunk tweet like my fucking like football players from the team I like, okay?
But I mean, it makes for great content.
It makes for good content. I mean, if I do it, just remind me to delete it in the morning, I guess.
I mean, it's the best thing to happen to the Browns in God knows how long. Since they moved to Baltimore. Boom!
Ow. Why? Ow. Why are you bringing this shit up?
Moving on.
We've had this conversation.
Ed Oliver.
I don't have it anymore. It hurts.
Ed Oliver. His charges were dismissed. We briefly touched on this when we were talking about a bunch of people getting in trouble, I think week 1. But he had a DWI, I believe, because he was drunk at the time.
Yeah, a Dewey and a weapons charge.
Yeah, and a gun possession charge.
Mm-hmm.
Those charges have since been dismissed, so we'll see if the Bills opt to suspend him, or, if he even makes it to the season, but he's kind of a rookie, so one would expect he would think he's young enough and healthy enough and wants to play through his contract enough to just, play.
Yeah.
And we're already down a defensive lineman, but we'll talk about that later.
Sure. And even if the Bills don't do anything, you still got to navigate the sea that is Roger Goodell. Because
right.
I can't remember how the new collective bargaining agreement.
I feel like they're a lot more lenient on stuff.
Yeah, I feel like a lot less power. Like Roger Goodell isn't the judge, jury, and executioner anymore, but that doesn't mean the NFL won't investigate it. But so far, they seem disinterested in investigating it. So who knows? Maybe it'll just kind of go away.
I feel like they got bigger fish to fry at the moment.
Yeah, there's some more important things going on than, Ed Oliver driving through Texas with a beer between his legs.
I mean, he was towing a dune buggy.
He was just in Texas, hitting the dunes, having a few beers, evidently unlawfully carrying a weapon while doing it.
I mean, he was in Houston. Can you blame him?
It's Texas.
It's Texas, first of all. It's Houston, second of all.
You carry a gun in Texas. You drink beer in Texas.
You carry at least a gun in Texas.
Yeah. these are like the rules of Texas, right?
This is why I make fun of Cincinnati and not Texas.
Because you can't carry a gun in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It's automatically
Can't
uncool.
carry a fucking W either, but you know.
Oh shit! 2-12, suck it. They got Joe Burrow now, though.
Oh, do we want to jump to that?
I mean, we're here now.
I have insert Cincy. I have Joe Burrow dash got paid insert Cincy joke.
It'll come to it.
Yeah. So this was your comment to me earlier. I mean, he was the number 1 overall pick, but number 1 overall picks aren't paid like Matt Stafford was.
Yeah, it's not the way it used to be. But his deal is fully guaranteed.
Okay, but how much is his deal?
$36 million.
Over 5?
Over 4.
Over 4 with a fifth-year option.
With a fifth-year option, yep. And it was a $23 million signing bonus, so he's getting...
Oh, jeez.
Almost... Yeah, he got 2/3 of his salary as a bonus, like, plus the salary. So, Joe Burrow is now loaded.
Yeah, that happened pretty quick.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking upfront money. But
he should opt out.
1 overall pick. Dude, seriously? Like the Bengals just gave him a check for $23 million,
like, nah.
and he doesn't even have to play a snap if he doesn't want to.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, be like, oh, gee, thanks. And there's not a fucking thing that the team can do about it.
I'm a high risk. Joe, you seem pretty healthy and like in relatively good condition. What are you at high risk of? I play for the Bengals.
Yeah. I'm at high risk for death, dismemberment.
They don't have an indoor facility.
Yeah,
we're in Cincinnati.
There's a team in the Rust Belt that doesn't know what the winter is, evidently, and I play for it.
Oh, they know. They know.
Yeah, it's like he's not opting out because of COVID. He's opting out because he doesn't want to fucking play for Cincinnati.
I'm opting out because this shit is whack, yo.
He went to LSU, and even he's smarter than that.
Damn. That was harsh.
So,
Tre'Davious White went to LSU.
Well, so did a lot of people, evidently. Great football school.
Trey White's one of the best hockey goalies you'd never heard of.
Yeah, and the best receiver tandem in the league right now came from LSU, so whatever.
If it's 3 people, would it still be a tandem?
I don't know. Let's see what the tandem. Tandem means is having 2 things arranged, one in front of the other.
Okay, so it's 2.
Yes. The adverb is 2 or more horses harnessed one behind another.
Wait, what do you mean,
if they
2
were
or more?
horses,
Yeah.
if they were horses instead of people, then it would be a tandem, evidently.
Oh, it's probably still a tandem because they're like 2x2 at that point. That's why they would still consider them like they would be tandems of horses.
Maybe. I don't know.
This is the content you come here for.
Football and English lessons.
You want to talk a little bit about Trey White since we mentioned him, and you watched an ungodly amount of film on him for some odd reason this morning?
Yeah,
this afternoon?
I was inspired, okay? I was inspired to know why he's so good. So we're going to get into some top 100 list stuff because we actually have a fair amount to talk about there because
I didn't write that down.
Yeah, had a decent amount of representation in the top 100 list from both teams. Trey White, this is his first top 100, isn't it?
No, I don't think so.
No? Well, even if it is.
Do you know what place
Trey
White's
in? 40-something? He was actually pretty high.
Yeah, 47.
Yeah. So what I decided to do is watch about 45-ish minutes of Trey White game film. And
well, maybe he wasn't ranked last year.
Yeah, I don't think he was ranked last year.
Weird. 0 to 47 is pretty good.
Oh, 100%. I think I want to see where Stephon Gilmore ranks.
He'll probably be in the top 10.
Because he was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Because
he'll probably be in the top 5.
Yeah, but there was not a single cornerback in the league that played better than Trey White last year.
Yeah.
Except for Stephon Diggs.
You mean except for Stephon Gilmore?
Or Stephon Gilmore. So, I don't know. I wouldn't call like 47 disrespect because Tre'Davious White wasn't on the list last year.
I mean, Trey didn't let up a touchdown.
Yeah, here's what I learned about Trey White. He didn't give up a single touchdown the entire league, or the entire season. He was substantially better at tracking and attacking the ball. And C3, the third thing,
Numero Trace.
That man plays he plays the most daredevil brand of cornerback that I've ever seen. So like,
he ain't that fast, so he's got to get there.
Yeah, so like most cornerbacks, what they'll do is like especially if they're playing off, they usually open up a little bit earlier. So like when the receiver breaks, especially if they're breaking inside or just breaking straight, like they're like a little like double move or something like that, they'll open up early towards the direction they think the receiver is going in order to keep up speed wise, because the receiver obviously knows which direction he's running. He doesn't have to guess most of the time. So. But what Tre'Davious does is, like, he is totally square to the line of scrimmage until, like, that break. And then he just digs on it. Like, he digs so fucking hard. And, like, he may not be the fastest dude, but he has quickness. Like, he can close distance so fucking fast. Like, the way he sits on and digs into out routes was, like, it blew my fucking mind. Like, I knew he was good, but, like, watching how late he breaks on these balls and how square he is to the line of scrimmage, like, he doesn't open up his hips at all. He does not shade towards the receiver at all. He sits on that route, he reads the route, and as soon as the ball starts going, he's gone.
Yep.
And he just straight towards the ball or straight towards the receiver. And how late he, like, that's all intelligence and, like, trusting his own ability. Like, he's a smart dude. He's reading routes that I don't think enough people are giving him credit for.
No.
The way he's sitting and he stays square, because corners don't play square anymore because they're afraid to get burned. And
he got flippy hips.
Yeah, Trey does it because he can move his body laterally so much quicker than other corners. Like, he could just turn on a dime. He can flick them hips open, and then he's stride for stride with the receiver.
Trey's really a great example, I think, of why people are like, yeah, 40 times are cool, but, you know, most of the time you're not running 40 yards in a straight line.
Yeah, your battle out wide is won by quickness and like precision, you know. And then the last 10% of the catch is effort. You know, if you're a receiver, you run a clean route. If there's some deception in the route, you run a clean route, throw a head fake at them, and then the last 10% is actually getting up and catching the ball. And corners, you know, it's staying in a position where you're not it doesn't blow the coverage. You're not out of position for what that receiver is doing. But like whether or not you're playing on or like you're pressing, you're playing man, you're playing off, it's recognizing that route, being anticipatory of the throw, and then 10% finishing, getting on the ball and attacking the ball. What makes good corners good is their ability to execute that 90%. What makes good receivers good is to be able to execute that 90%. What makes great receivers and great corners is that 10%, that finish. And there's one thing that I saw, like as impressive as his technique was, as impressive as he was with, his ability to recognize the route, be able to sit on the route or dig into the route, be able to disrupt the play via his own positioning. Because quarterbacks did not like to throw towards Trey White, by the way.
No, they actively avoid it at this point to a large degree.
What made Trey great last season was when that 10%, when they did throw the ball at him, he attacked the ball aggressive. Even if the ball was already in the receiver's hand, he's punching it out. Like it's that 10% effort that makes good corners great. And
he got that peanut punch.
Yeah, and I think the leap, it wasn't even that much of a leap because, Trey White was already really good in 2018.
Oh, I don't know. Listen to, this is season 2, episode 3. Listen to season 1, episode 3 for my fucking thoughts on Trey White, apparently.
Yeah, you were not hot on Trey White.
It was like two or three. Ago. Man, his first couple of games, his rookie season, I was not having it.
Mm-hmm. And then by the end of the year, me and you had the same general consensus. Trey White is a really good corner.
Yeah, he's top 3 corner, let's say.
Yep. Yeah, and then last year,
statistically maybe the best.
Yeah, and then last year he put a stamp on that shit. He's like, I am one of the best corners in the league, and you can't argue about it anymore.
10 points lower than Stephon Gilmore in Madden.
Mm-hmm. That's some disrespect.
Trey White's an 89. That is straight up disrespectful.
Yeah, Trey White's a lot better, and I think as the Bills get more exposure, stuff like that's going to come around. But
4
until
primetime
then,
games, baby.
Yeah,
assuming we have football, baby.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. This is the year Trey White can really put the stamp, like the fucking hard stamp on it. Like he's going to double stamp.
Well, yeah, and we already picked up his 5th-year option because duh.
Yes. Why would you not? Like breaking up that secondary would be dumb.
Yeah, I mean we just paid Poyer. We'll probably pay Micah Hyde again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like I was really impressed with Trey White and kind of jealous because I want to see that same production out of my young corners. We'll see.
I mean, is Ward not living up to his early call to fame? I feel like that kid started with a real low floor or a real high floor.
Yeah, Denzel Ward's fine. He has done nothing to. I'll put it to you this way: he has done nothing to make me feel like he was that we reached for him.
Mm-hmm.
He has played really good football.
Would you rather have Bradley Chubb at this point?
I would rather have. I would almost. Man, I can't say that because like you're talking about 2 positions where that player specifically, so Bradley Chubb would obviously like have played tandem with Myles Garrett, and Myles Garrett has only had 1 full season because of injury and trying to murder a guy, and Denzel Ward has never had a full season in Cleveland. So would I rather have them be? Would I rather have Bradley Chubb because maybe he'll stay on the field longer?
Didn't Bradley Chubb have a season-long injury?
Bradley Chubb played in 2018. He played the full season. In 2019, he got ACL tear, I think. So we'll see how he bounces back from that.
Yeah.
So no, I think I'm okay with Denzel Ward. Myles Garrett can hold down that line. We got a decent offensive line. I don't think we reached for Denzel Ward. I think he's doing exactly what a second year corner should be doing in the league. Total in his career, 2 seasons he's played 24 games and he's floating around 5 interceptions in 24 games, and 22 pass defenses. So, not bad.
Do you rather have Baker Mayfield or Lamar Jackson?
Oh, fuck. Man, I can't dog on Baker like that, but
I mean, you did call him a bitch that one time.
I was drunk and I wouldn't have if I wasn't drunk. I mean, would you rather have Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen?
No, I would rather.
You a damn lie.
I would rather have Josh Allen.
You a damn lie.
With the pieces that we have, I would rather have Josh Allen.
You a damn lie.
I mean, it's definitely close.
Yeah, I'd probably take Lamar Jackson over Baker Mayfield if it's 2019 Baker all over again. If we get 2018 Baker back, I'll stick with Baker. I like Baker. He's a good player.
I mean, I won't lie and say that I wouldn't take like Mahomes over Josh Allen, considering we were literally sitting there and could have just drafted him.
Yeah. Anybody would be stupid. Like if you if you say
'Cause,
that you would
like-
rather have insert quarterback here over Pat Mahomes, you don't watch football.
Yeah, like, I mean, and the thing is Pat Mahomes has got seriously injured and then was back in, what, like 4 weeks? Because he's got funky knees or some shit. Like,
Yeah, he's
Lamar
back in
hasn't,
like 4 or 5 weeks, and
Lamar hasn't had that major injury yet. And I think I think he's one solid hit from being in real fucking trouble.
oh, that's the nature of any rushing. I mean, that same can be said about Josh Allen. Josh Allen runs a lot too.
Josh Allen's a little bit bigger though.
So is Cam Newton, and Cam Newton is getting paid $1 million right now because he couldn't stay healthy.
Cam Newton's getting paid $7 million, but
because he couldn't stay healthy.
well, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, and,
We'll see.
and everybody experiences different injuries.
100%. Speaking of Josh Allen, though,
Yeah, he made the top 100 list.
he made that top 100 list. Because turns out that guy can run.
That boy can run.
Yeah. How many rushing touchdowns he had last season? 10?
9 or 10, something like that.
Yeah. He had fucking
He had
500
6
yards.
in his last 8 games that he fully played. So not week 17 because he got pulled.
Now that completion percentage still a little questionable,
Yeah, but it went up like 6 points.
but it got better. We saw improvement.
Like 6 full points.
Yeah, and a touchdown to interception ratio is like a whole other story compared to the season prior.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he actually threw touchdowns.
Also,
But
he's got like a 101 passer rating in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he led the league in most fourth quarter comebacks.
He was tied for first. There were 2 other people who had 5 along with him. I can't remember who they were. But
That's
yes,
probably like Russell Wilson and people like that.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, but we had my only critique with Josh Allen at this point, I think he deserves to be on the top 100. He's definitely one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks that we've seen in the league in a while.
Yeah, talk that good shit about my team.
Yeah, but we got to wrangle that guy's arm in, which seems like we're trending in the right direction, and he's got to stop fumbling the ball.
I mean, that hero...
What?
I don't think you will ever wring all of the hero ball out of Josh Allen, but the more that we can kind of squeeze that type of mentality out of it and force a little bit more, hey, just throw it away. Or literally, just take the sack.
Yeah. Now, fortunately, he only lost, throw some hard numbers at you. In 2018, he had 12...
those hard numbers at me.
He had 12 interceptions, 8 fumbles, but he only lost 2 of those fumbles. In 2019, he had 9 interceptions, 14 fumbles. He only lost 4 of those fumbles, but the turnover differential, there was only an improvement of 1 turnover because of those fumbles.
Yeah.
Versus what should have been an improvement of 3 or 4 turnovers, we only had an improvement of 1 because although less interceptions, he fumbled a lot more.
But again, you said he only gave up 4 of those.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm taking those 4.
Oh, okay.
So let's say those 4 fumbles lost were actually interceptions. Then he had
How many fumbles lost did he have his rookie year?
2. So the turnover differential, he was if we just go pure turnovers, he had 14 turnovers his rookie year. He had 12 interceptions and 2 lost fumbles. His sophomore year, he had 13. So he literally improved by 1 turnover. Because he fumbled the ball 14 times and lost 4 of those fumbles.
Gotcha.
So
I mean, to be fair, one of those was against Dallas, and he picked it up and got a first down, so I don't think that should count.
well, it doesn't. That's not in the fumbled loss category. That's in the fumbled category,
Yeah,
of which he still had 14.
I don't think that one should count.
Yeah, that one shouldn't count.
No,
that shouldn't even be a fumble. He scored a touchdown.
I think he did later. Well, no, yeah, in the Dallas game, we definitely put up hella points.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch that game live.
I got to watch a surprisingly large amount of football live last year because I worked a normal job for a while.
Normal jobs.
I was off on most Sundays. But Josh Allen, we saw improvement, and the dude's a freak, and he can throw a ball a fucking mile, and I think he deserves to. He's definitely top 100. Like,
Yeah.
He definitely deserved his spot on the list.
And then Stephon Diggs made the top 100.
And then Stephon Diggs made the top 100. Might have not been with the Bills.
I mean, I see a Bills logo
played,
next to his name, so...
He plays for the Bills now. And that's all that matters.
All of your stats belong to us.
Yep. Dude, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see what the Bills do next year. Just with the weapons that they have right now.
I'm excited to see if anybody does anything next year.
Look, we'll get to that. That's what we call foreshadowing.
Ooh, I'm a spooky ghost.
Spooky ghost. But Stephon Diggs is really good. Nobody ever questions that Stephon Diggs is really good. Had an issue with some fumbles last year in Minnesota. Not a huge deal. He scored 1 million touchdowns and had 1 million yards receiving. So
I'm a little surprised to not see him on the list yet, so I'm sure Matt Milano's just, waiting to hit that number 1 spot on the top 100 list.
Yeah, okay. Nobody even knows what a Matt Milano is.
A lot of people do when they're calling the game because they're like, holy shit, look at this kid's stats. It's like Kiko Alonso if he didn't headbutt people.
He do that. One thing that surprised me, I mean, it's a peer list, so it doesn't surprise me that he made the list, but it surprised me how they presented him on the list. So Myles Garrett got into the top 100 again. He dropped like a bajillion places because he didn't play the whole season. And like all the stats are there.
Also, I bet the Steelers didn't vote for him.
Probably not. There was definitely no Steelers players on his little video, but he averaged, he averaged almost a sack a game. He was on pace to break the single-season sacking record, and then he tried to murder a guy. Where I was surprised was the first opening bit of his NFL film was the NFL, actually showing Myles Garrett trying to murder a guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, well,
that's a choice.
I didn't think they'd ever bring that up again.
That's a choice. That's what happens when that shit's on primetime.
Yeah, so it's like, pretty much the whole video was like he would have broke records if he didn't try to murder a guy. And here's the video of him trying to murder a guy. And it's like, oh, man, I did not expect to see that footage again.
Slamma-jamma.
Yeah. That was, like you said, that was certainly a choice, NFL. But I'm glad he's on the list. He definitely deserves it. But I don't know about that. I'm glad they're being real about it. They're not trying to dilute it. Like Myles Garrett did an egregious act that I find hilarious now. So if they keep showing it to me, I'm gonna keep laughing because Mason Rudolph's a prick.
I'll stop doing it when you stop laughing.
Pretty much. The other two on our list so far,
It's
Odell.
the worst Nick Frost impression ever.
That's why I ignored it. So it seems like the Odell's peers in the NFL agree with me when I say, yeah, it technically was a down year, but he still had good per game output and was still a good receiver last year, one of the best in the league. Odell hits the list at number 59. Which was a significant drop from last year, but Odell is just Odell doing Odell things. We don't got to talk about
Diggs
Odell.
Was 54.
Well, Stephon Diggs also didn't play through a sports hernia
that we know of.
Odell was 23 the year prior. Jarvis made it, which surprise, surprise.
What'd he come in at?
62 was 61, like literally just behind Odell. 61, yeah. So he had his sixth 80-plus reception season in a row, 6 straight 100-plus target season in a row, his 5th straight fucking 900-yard season in a row. It's just consistency. And
that's just good football.
That's just good football. And he still plays receiver like a running back. So I'm expecting at some point in Jarvis Landry's career for him to be dead, and he just stops, or he just never dies. So I don't know what he's made out of, but as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, I'm gonna be happy.
Mm-hmm. Fuck Jarvis Landry.
No, you know what? It wouldn't be the Fourth and Wrong podcast without it.
Yeah. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, just putting out. You gotta put that energy out there, just so we're clear.
Ooh, can you call Jarvis Landry a bitch for me?
You know what? I might. When's your birthday?
Day after Christmas. You know that.
All right. Let me get enough whiskeys in me, and we'll see.
We'll do it at ye olde.
Yeah, ye olde. The only other thing I want to talk about with the top 100 was, did you watch Mark Ingram's?
I did not. I literally have seen Josh Allen's, and that's the only one I've seen.
Yeah. Mark Ingram's was funny because
Big Truss?
And that's exactly why it was funny. Half of the video was dedicated up to the Big Truss movement.
Yeah. That was not a hard guess.
Here he is. Big Truss. Woo woo.
Woo woo. Jesus.
All right, Mark Ingram. You need to settle down. Yeah. It doesn't matter that you had a 1,000-yard season and averaged 5 yards a carry. Big Truss. He's literally in the top 100 because he's Lamar Jackson's hype man.
I mean, yeah.
And I ain't mad at it. I like Mark Ingram. He's funny as shit. I hope he's funny as shit next year, so I have something to laugh at.
Big Truss.
Big Truss.
All right.
It has to be a t-shirt.
Now, do you want to move on to the AFC East?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, so let's talk about something that is only technically tangentially now related to the AFC East, which is Jamal Adams was traded to the Seahawks. After saying Adam Gase, use a bitch, that's definitely a good way to get your ass sent out of town.
Yeah, it was very back and forth for a while. I don't want to be traded. A bunch of people saying he doesn't want to be traded, and then literally calling Adam Gase a bitch.
I mean, he didn't literally call him a bitch, but he's like, this guy can't win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, in so many words. He's like, this dude's a fool, and the leadership here sucks, and get me out of here. I hate you guys. And
it'd be better if he literally called him a bitch.
It would have been better if he literally called him a bitch. But, and I wasn't as surprised as some of the people I talked to, because I think Jamal Adams is a ridiculously good safety. But I don't
think that's a hot take.
Yeah, that's not a hot take at all. He's one of the best safeties in the league. But you wouldn't know that talking to fucking Jets fans, dog. They're convinced that they're convinced that they fucking fleeced Seattle with this trade.
No.
Because the trade was pretty substantial. They got,
two first round picks and a person playing safety.
Yeah, and a starting quality safety. So they traded for his replacement and a bunch of draft picks, 2 first-round draft picks and a third-round draft pick. And the Jets fans they're like, oh man, we fucking robbed Seattle, and it's robbed Seattle.
If Seattle goes winning Super Bowls with that team, your 32nd overall pick is not that hot.
Yeah, you gotta understand who's going to be using those picks.
I mean,
dog.
And Jamal Charles is already a guaranteed thing, or Jamal Adams, sorry.
Yeah, he's guaranteed. Their first round pick this coming draft is Jamal Adams.
Yeah,
and we already know
and the next year.
And the next year. We already know Jamal Adams is ridiculous. You got to trust that front office, the Jets front office, to use those picks. I don't know, dog. I'm taking Jamal Adams.
Yeah, I'm taking the under on that one.
Yeah, I'm
taking the under Jets, on them using it right.
Yeah, it's Jamal Adams is ridiculous. He's one of the smartest safeties in the league. He hits like a freight train.
Well, and it's like you already got it right. Why do you want more chances to get it right?
Yeah, short of the team should have been doing whatever they should have to keep Jamal Adams happy.
Yeah, make that man happy. Keep his ass around.
Right.
You don't get an Ed Reed or a Troy Polamalu every day.
Right. And that's what this dude can be in the league. But don't tell that to Jets fans because they'll think you're crazy.
Yeah.
But it's because he plays on the strong side. Yeah, Greg. You know who you are.
You fucker.
It's because he plays on the strong side. He's not flashy. He's not in coverage every single time. But the way that dude, the way that he reacts in the middle of plays and just instinctually ends up where he needs to be for like tackle for losses. Like he's not even supposed to be there. Like he's just a baller. He just goes out there and he's like Troy Polamalu. They let him do whatever he wants because 8 times out of 10 he's right.
Yep.
And he murders people.
Yep. I seen the tape.
And that's what you want out of a strong side safety. And his coverage skills ain't bad.
It's almost as good as Jordan Poyer. I'm fucking around.
Almost. How good is Jordan Poyer?
I mean, you put him with Micah Hyde, and they're pretty fucking good together.
Yeah, Jordan Poyer is pretty good safety. I would definitely take Jordan Poyer over about 50% of the safeties in the league.
I would take Jordan Poyer probably over 70% of the safeties in the league, 70 or 80.
Yeah, I mean, we had him for 3 fucking years.
I think Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer are both top 25 safeties in the league.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Top 20?
Yeah, he's certainly having a career renaissance.
Arguably the best tandem in the league. I mean, who's the other safety in Seattle right now? Do we know?
From what I can tell, nobody important.
Yeah, so that happened. So let's talk about one of the people it might impact. Is that enough to get Jadeveon Clowney back?
Like back in Seattle?
Yeah, like back in Seattle.
I don't know. I think as an overall defense, that would be certainly enough to pique his interest. But you got to pay the man. But I would like to play on the same defense as Jamal Adams.
And with Russell Wilson,
and
with
on
the
rest
other
of
side.
The rest of the pieces that still exist in Seattle. Like Seattle's got a good fucking football team. Yeah. And Jamal Adams is one of those.
And they might get Josh Gordon back again.
They might get Josh Gordon back again, and they have fucking DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson and like all these pieces. If they could lock down the defensive line with somebody like Clowney, who's still a free agent, by the way, I'm going to bring that up every fucking week.
Patriots, fuck off. Patriots, please fuck off.
Yeah, please, for the love of God, Patriots, fuck off. The Seattle has a really good football team, and Jamal Adams is one of those transcendent players that can really put a team over in an important position in the secondary. So I'm sure Jadeveon Clowney is, I'm sure his agents, the agent and the organization have been in contact since that trade. So we'll see how that plays out. However, like we've already mentioned, in the AFC East, the Patriots just freed up a fuck ton more cap space.
Yep. Because of that, they're COVID.
Mm-hmm. Because it turns out players that choose to take the COVID stipend or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it frees up cap room.
Well, okay, so what it does is it gives them $150,000 to $350,000 depending on if they're high risk or not, and it takes their contract and literally just rolls it forward a year.
It furloughs them like a mortgage.
Yeah. So the big thing about that is so apparently they've got until August 3rd to do this, and once you opt out, you can't opt back in. There's also a provision where if later on down the road someone were to contract it or their family does or something, a player can choose to opt out at that point also. But the big thing about it is that any guaranteed money will also roll forward. The full contract just picks up and moves. And that's important because if somebody's got a big amount of guaranteed money this year...
guess what doesn't affect the cap for this year?
Yeah, and... Well, not only does it not affect the cap, but if the season's canceled, they don't get that money.
Mm-hmm. So that's led to 2 conversation points. One... the Patriots can fuck off because that frees up enough room to actually sign Jadeveon Clowney to a decent amount, like a very lucrative prove it or lose it deal.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we'll sign you for 1 year. We have $15 million. We'll give you 10 guaranteed.
Have you met Cam Newton?
Yeah, have you met Cam Newton?
He was also a number 1 overall pick.
Yeah. Also the rest of that defense.
Yeah. Well. Except for Deontay Hightower and Patrick
right, but
Chung.
that brings up the second part of the conversation that this brings up is a lot of that defense, a lot of big players on that defense, including Deontay Hightower, which is not a small loss, have already chosen to take the COVID stipend. They're not playing next year, and they can't renege. They can't come back.
Yep, they have chosen to be out already.
Yep. So although they are one of the teams that now have the money for the Jadeveon Clowney sweepstakes, is that an appealing place to play now? Your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's suffered some serious drawbacks, but that's I also think that's a very system team, and the Patriots are also, generally speaking, a pretty healthy team. So you don't see a lot of their replacements. So it really depends how well the backups know the system and at what positions they end up, out of players.
Yeah, I think it definitely with those players choosing not to play this year.
Because one of the Patriots players was their fullback. I don't know how important the Patriots fullback is to their game plan.
Yeah, and Danny Vitale has definitely always been, or Vitale, however you say his name. He's always been like a blocking back. So I don't know. We were gonna see, and now we're not.
Yeah.
I think all those players pulling out and having this free money now has definitely incentivized the Patriots to look at a player like Clowney and be like, hey, we lost these studs, so now we need you.
Right.
Which puts the ball in Jadeveon Clowney's court.
It also grants Jadeveon Clowney the opportunity, if nothing else, to play under one of the greatest defensive minds in football. I mean, as much as I fucking hate Bill Belichick, game recognized game.
Right. Did you all see that Super Bowl last year?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen any big reports from any other teams that are doing this. That have players that are declaring that they're going to take the stipend en masse. It's literally all come from the Patriots, as far as I've seen.
I think there was one other team. I think the Ravens have multiples. Baltimore's got 2. Buffalo's got 1. Chicago's got 1. Dallas has 2. Denver has 1. Green Bay has 1. Houston has 1. Kansas City has 1. Minnesota's got 1. New England has 6.
Yeah, so overall,
Philly's got 1, Seattle's got 1, Tennessee's got 1, Washington football team has 1.
They have 6 times more players
than the average team, yeah.
Than the average team.
There are 2 teams with 2. Everybody else has got 1. Some teams have 0.
Yep. And Kyle Van Noy, Jamie Collins, and Elandon Roberts all left in free agency.
Yep.
So
I hope you like the McCourty twins.
Yep. So you got Stephon Gilmore and the McCourty twins. I don't know what's going on with the rest of that defense. They could use a player like Clowney right now, but that puts Clowney in a position where it'd be like, if you need me so much, you're going to have to pay me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They got the money for it now because they freed up $22 million with these people dumping out.
Yep. So is Belichick going to stick to the Belichick guns and wait until the last minute and sign him on a minimum contract?
And I think that was even before Patrick Chung. I don't even know where they're at this point.
Yeah, there's no telling.
I bet you over the cap news.
Probably.
You were going to say? Or are you waiting on this now? Yeah, it's annoying, isn't it?
I think it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
And
that's what we're going to do.
Patrick Chung, $5 million. Funny, though, he has no guaranteed salary this year. So he's not doing it for the salary.
Yeah, so maybe Patrick Chung is
Who the fuck is Joe Thuney? Left guard has almost 15 million guaranteed this year for the Patriots.
Oh, Joe Thuney?
Yeah.
Yeah, he aight.
Couldn't tell you he existed.
Yeah, that's I want to say that's his rookie contract, unless they gave him an extension.
I mean, he's 100% guaranteed, so maybe that's his 5th-year option.
Yeah, it might be his 5th year. Let's see. Oh, they tagged him. That's why.
Ah, that'd do it.
Yeah. They tagged him in March.
I wonder.
So he get big money.
I wonder. That's an interesting question. Does the tag carry over?
Yeah, if they tagged a player and say Thuney decides to opt out, does that tag carry over to next season?
Do they get to tag? I would imagine. Do they get to renegotiate and tag somebody else? I mean, all those contracts are long overdue or are long since done. If he opts out, what happens with that tag? Do they get 2 next year?
They get 2 or they get to keep him and they flip them an extra tag, like a compensatory pick.
Or, I guess my real question that I was trying to think of was, if he goes and plays this year because he's tagged and he's got all this guaranteed money, but then the season gets canceled.
Do they get that tag back?
Yeah. Do they, yeah. Or, what the fuck happens at that point with his shit? Because he's an all or nothing, basically.
Yeah. We are certainly in unprecedented times when it comes to I'm sure nobody has
and he's the second highest cap number on the entire team.
Yeah, if there's a national emergency clause in these contracts, does this count?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think if I'm him, I sit out this year.
Yeah, fuck it.
Or Robert Kraft, we better have a handshake saying that you're going to make sure I get this money one way or another.
Right.
You want me to keep Cam Newton alive.
Yeah, tags are expensive, and I would like to get that money, but
you gonna pay me.
Yeah, he gonna pay me. That's weird. And like I said, it's weird that it's the Patriots. It's all Patriots players. Other teams have the 1 or 2, but the Patriots 6 people. Just nah, we're good.
We're good.
Okay.
Well, apparently Dante Hightower's situation was he's got a 2-month-old kid also.
Yeah, he has a 2-month-old kid, and I think his mom's a type 2 diabetic or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think he's one of the high risk dudes.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
There was also an opinion I heard earlier on opting out that was some players may just opt out to get the quick payday because they're probably not going to make the team anyways. I don't know if that's necessarily going to work or not, because at the very least we read earlier that undrafted rookie free agents cannot just walk off and take a payday. So you'd have to at least have been signed to a contract.
Yeah, so you have to be a veteran on a veteran contract.
Also, that's kind of a dick move if you're oh, I signed a 1-year minimum deal or whatever. Oh, I'm going to take this because, I would just want the $150,000. Do you automatically bloat the team with contracts so they just have to cut you the following year instead?
That's an interesting scenario.
Because technically your contract would just roll over, or can they cut you mid-season? And then do you count as dead money and stuff? I got questions as to how all this shit works.
Yeah, I was about to say, that would also imply that I have any fucking idea how salary caps work in the NFL. I have a vague understanding of how it works.
Just throwing science at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yep, that's pretty much it. Well, like I said earlier, this is a strange and unprecedented time in this era of the NFL. So I guess we'll just see how it all plays out.
Yep.
And that's how we'll handle it next time the world almost explodes.
I think that's all I've got on COVID and stuff. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Basketball's back on Thursday. Wait, this is wrong podcast.
Baseball might be going away. Basketball's coming back to replace it.
Yeah. In the bubble.
in the bubble that can be conveniently penetrated by delivery drivers.
You said penetrated.
You're such a fucking child.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
All right, so I think for some reason I have the Washington football team written down, and then I've got a dash underneath it, like I was gonna say something about it. They're still just the Washington football team, and that's what they're gonna be indefinitely.
Hey, I think it's classy. Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
I'm a soccer fan, and soccer has a rich history of just naming their team, hey, this is the soccer team. Fucking, for instance, and the MLS has carried that tradition on some of their teams too. Like, you got DC United, you got fucking, it's usually like City Football Club, and that's it. So, I don't know. I kind of dig it. It's clean. After some reflection, none of the other options that people have been like tossing around the internet, like the red tails and crap like that, I don't really like them. I kind of like once they were just like, hey, we're the Washington football team. It's like, you know what? I dig it. Simple. They get to keep all their history. They get to keep their colors. Just get rid of all the racist shit. And just be like, that's what everybody's been referring to them as since like 2016 anyways, was the Washington football team. Because nobody wanted to say, Redskins on the air.
Right.
So just roll with it.
Also, I don't think they're getting rid of the colors. I think that's all staying the same.
Yeah, all the colors and everything's staying the same. They already got new logos. They already got like the temporary shit. If they decide to change the name to something that has a mascot thing, then cool. But it establishes a nice clean precedent in the National Football League that yes, you can just be the Washington or the whatever football team, and it's not silly. They still haven't changed their website though. Oh, they have. Okay. So as of right now that I just looked, it is now WashingtonFootball.com.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, July the 28th, 2020. And their website's up to date.
Yeah, and their website's changed to Washington Football. And all the press photos that they have on the front. So the one picture of a player in a Washington uniform, conveniently he's holding a football over the word Redskins.
Wow.
So yeah, that's, if you're gonna do it, I don't know if any of that has anything to do with what you wanted to talk about Washington for, but
yeah, I have no idea. I have the Washington football team, and that's as far as I got.
Yeah, I mean, we seem to take notes very similarly. Like, my notes literally is, I have Joe Burrow, hard stop. Top 100 list, hard stop. So it's just like, I just assume my brain's going to remember what I wanted to talk about.
Right.
I think Adrian Peterson should opt out, because he's geriatric, and they're a high-risk population.
Is he... Jesus Christ. Is he still on a team?
Yeah, he still plays for the Washington.
Oh, okay.
The Washington.
Patrick Mahomes joins ownership group of Kansas City Royals.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, he's got $500 million. Why not?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I wonder how much.
And guess what? He'll be in Kansas City.
That's true.
And guess what? If he really wanted to, he could probably put himself on the team.
He could probably pitch. Yeah. Didn't Patrick Mahomes play baseball?
I believe he was drafted.
Yeah.
Or maybe he wasn't drafted, but he could have been.
Let's see. Yeah, he was selected by the Detroit Tigers in the 37th round.
There you go.
Because there's a lot of draft rounds in baseball.
Yeah.
Well, now he don't have to play because he owns that bitch.
It's true.
Good for him.
It's like, what do? I play football. What else do you do? I own you.
You can't say that. It's 2020, man.
I own your contract.
There you go.
Indentured servitude is so much better than slavery.
Whatever.
All right, well, then that's been the Fourth and Wrong podcast for this week. Again, it's July 28th, 2020. We're going to get this out as soon as possible, but I make no promises that it actually makes it out on Tuesday, but I'm going to try real hard. We'll see.
Just pretend it's Tuesday when you're listening to it.
Yeah. Like just like on Tuesdays, you pretend it's Tuesday when you're listening to it. Mm-hmm. Or you pretend that we recorded it on Tuesday. Whatever. Yeah.
Because we totally record it on Tuesdays.
Every Tuesday, because we've got that much free time.
Yeah. Goodbye, Keith.
Hey everybody, it's Thursday, July the 30th, 2020, and this is a Fourth and Wrong addendum. Kind of breaking in at the end here because we've got news, and we also want you to know that this podcast was still being worked on before you heard it. So yeah, it is Thursday now, Thursday actual. So the Bills rookies have been sent home due to COVID. After apparently 5 people tested positive. Okay, so as far as the Bills go, apparently 5 means 5 people in the building. Because it says that 2 players, including 1 rookie, tested positive for COVID-19 on Thursday. Oh, and apparently the Scottish Hammer is on the COVID list, which Keith cares about. Which kind of sparked me looking at my phone. Because he originally just sent me a message that said, no! And my response was, uh-oh. And I saw that I had more ESPN notifications. And that's when I saw the thing about the Bills. So that's just a quick little COVID update. Football is officially over. I don't know how we're going to keep this podcast going. We picked a great time to come back. But hopefully we will see you next time. Let's get that music going again.
Odell was 23 the year prior.
Why are we bringing up Richard Pryor?
What? Now you made me lose my train of thought.
Why are we bringing up Terrell Pryor?
He might be in the league again. Someday. Who knows? We expect to see a bounce back year from Odell.
Wait, the World Health Organization's aware of whether or not he's going to come back?
Oh, Jesus, shut up. You're just like cramming jokes in there until one lands.
Yes.
They're not going to fucking land.
I mean, listen.
Get over it.
If I'm cramming them in there, at least I'm making an impact.
Yeah. Fucking at least spit on him first. Shit.
It'll slide in. Anybody else on your top 100 list?
But I wasn't ready.